What is up, all my Mizzlers out there, all you Mizzanin fans watching? What's up, Mizzies? What's up, Mizzlers? Hope you guys enjoy some Pokemon content. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe so you always stay up to date with our Movie Mondays, our Manic Movie Mondays. Okay, so I may have missed last week. Okay, I may have missed the deadline. But for any of you schmucks who watched the stream, I may let you know that we're going to then have a double feature this week. So this is our morning episode. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. We're going to be talking about Pokemon this morning. And in the afternoon, we will have another upload. And it will be not Pokemon. That's a big part of it, is I actually wanted to do a double up last week, and it didn't work out. So I'm just doing a double this week. And therefore then, if I want to talk about some extra movies, and I've already scheduled it out and planned it like I've kind of done with the Pokemon, I can then just do that and just upload them, and there isn't an issue anymore. So it shouldn't ever more be a problem missing a day, and it will just be some extras. But that's the thing, is it will only be uploaded on Mondays. So I just kind of really mixed up. Had a little bit of a new plan out of the blue come Saturday on what I wanted to do. And what I also want to cover today and going forward. And so with that, whatever. Now, into what the actual video is about, I don't want to waste up too much of your time going into what this show's about. It's pretty basic. It's just me talking about what I've been watching, kind of what I recommended, my rating, my review. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just talking about movies on Mondays, getting out what I've kind of watched throughout the week, maybe just wanting to go over a specific film or a specific topic. And what we've been going over is the Pokemon films. If you've been watching the other uploads, if you want to go back and watch the other uploads, that's what we're talking about, is the Pokemon films. We're going to go through all of them, but no specials. We're not going to do any specials. We're doing real movies, the mainline movies, the real films. And we're not covering Detective Pikachu, because fuck that shit. I do not want to watch. This is not going to get me to watch Detective Pikachu. That's all I'm saying. I will not watch it. But I will watch every single other Pokemon film, whether or not I find them kind of boring and bad. Anyway, so. That's what we're going to get into. We start off with a pseudo kind of double feature. With the black and white films. The Pokemon movie black and white films. It is really surprising to me that they even decided to go with this shit and do the whole gimmick of how they do with the games, but in movie form. Especially because, like, in the game sense, there is, like, legitimate, like, yes, minor, but, like, they are different experiences. You are going to get, other than, like, oh my god, I got this other legendary. You have, like, other kinds of Pokemon, like, data differences and what you can catch. Stuff like that. So, like, you will be seeing, in that sense, a different journey for your Pokemon. You will be seeing something different. It is not going to be inherently the same. And, like, that's kind of like playing any of them, because they're random, but, like, You then naturally will always have that little different experience. And either way, they're made for fucking kids. It's for fucking kids. It's gimmicky for kids. And so, like, okay, whatever. I guess, I get it and I don't in doing the dual release thing like this. But it just doesn't make any sense to me, because all they essentially then do, the only difference is, it's not like it's then, like, trying to bake that into the film experience you're watching. No. The difference is you get a different literally opening, a different intro scene before they get to then the shared animation intro and song, and then it's the same. Okay, there's no difference. So you get a little different opening, and that's what you get to maybe talk about with your friends after, like how you can talk about the differences in your Pokemon game with friends. Now, you got this version and they got this version, but just about a movie. You can just only talk about the first scene. And so that's pretty much the whole gimmick. The whole gimmick is just that we have two movies, two with the asterisk. We have two with an asterisk movies that you can go watch that are going to be in theaters. Whatever. Get as much money as you fucking can, I guess, Pokemon. I can't, I guess, blame you. But I just don't think it works. I just really don't. I just don't think it works because it's still then maintaining a lot of the issues that have kind of been dragged along with the other movies. It's not as like pathetic and cheap as the film that we had just covered with Zorocron or whatever the fuck. What is that one called? Masters of Illusion, the Zoroark. Yeah, that guy. Zoroark. I found that in the Masters of Illusion just so boring. Just bad, boring. Anything that was interesting, they just abandoned. And again, it's just more like talking Pokemon shit that you don't care about. That you just don't give a shit about. This, I will start to get into some of the positives though. I didn't just hate this movie though. I did not utterly despise and oh my god, it's so boring. It just was a bit lackluster. I think lackluster, and especially everything about this is how I would describe it. Because okay, these opening scenes, I believe they're each showing you a different main kind of character aspect of what is this dual story. It's just the same one, but dual story going on. And with that, then the other of the legendaries that with them of Zekrom or Reshiram. And this is just being me, man. I think these legendaries are really poorly designed, let alone named. But I just find them pretty poorly designed. It's just this is, I think, really the first of getting just legendaries that suck. Legendaries that are not cool or distinct or have their own kind of flavor. So much of just this game and region is just the region. Just what's going on in the region and nothing else. Nothing a little extra. You can call some a cheap gimmick within Gen 4, within doing the Garantina movie. I feel it's kind of just doing it half-ass, and let alone in the games they're a little half-ass and all that kind of shit. But it's at least something. It's something new, and it's not the only gimmick. You still have a cool legendary. You still have them directly tied to these things going on, and I think it's just overall. It's also about kind of just grander themes, just bigger kind of things like space and time with Dialga and all that, and Palkia. I think they're just. It's so much easier to cling to it because it's cool kaiju shit. Also, it's big, huge, giant ideas that are cool for a kid because they're not they're things that you can understand and know, but you can't ever know. For a kid, there's no way a kid playing some Pokemon is gonna know all the intricacies of just all that shit, including the game. Yes, they can learn and grow from that, but that's the experience itself, and that's growing up. That a kid themselves is not going to understand all the nuances of a Pokemon in Pokemon game, and therefore I like then that being a little bit more representative in Gen 4, just overall bigger things, and let alone that better characters, just better characters in that. Again, with these Pokemon movies, we're getting into a rhythm and trope of we're going to show you these dog shit often poorly designed characters that look like Ghibli ripoffs that also have no fucking character. So the opposite of a fucking Ghibli. They have just zero personality and charisma. And those are the people we're going to be following. It's going to be Ash being dragged around by a bunch of people you don't give a shit about. And that sucks. I think that's just lame. There was enough inner workings and character stuff going on in this movie that I at least wasn't just completely out of it and bored, and it did keep my attention. But that is a problem because then too, Ash is also supposed to have his friends. It's just then the Ash movie, Ash with these other kind of jobbers with him. These new his new homies that he's going around with, they fucking suck. We got like the biggest Brock, white Brock, who is awful, and black girl who is like fine. She's the one person who at least gets like the most, I guess, of their own personality shown through, while also not like overdoing it. It's not like a May instance where they're really, really beating you over the head and doing it. Even with Misty, it got to some points like that. It's more in kind of the vein of Dawn, where like it's subtle. It's very subtle. It's not overstaying, and that's just much better, much better. Let alone in this movie, they don't in this. I'm telling you, in the white and black films, they do not even like tell you their names. They are expecting you to just be a TV show fan and you know who these people are. Unlike in the sequel, unlike in the movie that comes next of Chiron and the Sword of Justice, it is not going to explain to you shit other than what is needed for like the plot. And otherwise, it's just like, oh, experience the Pokemon world, be in the Pokemon world. And I still think it kind of sucks at that, because then the only thing that is, I feel, done slightly well is they really try to like show off this region a bit more, and then try to bake that into like where this like history of Reshiram and Zekrom kind of come from. And that's like it's of the most bare minimum though too. It's not actually doing it crazy well. I've enjoyed so much more learning about this region from the games than this movie, even though that is some of the only things this movie's trying to do. And that just sucks. That's pathetic. And this is 2 movies. We got 2 movies. This is 2 films. 2 fucking movies. It's 90 fucking minutes. And you just don't even really get, there is no like, only the story is about like the black and white. Only the most basic plot of the story is connected thematically with the black and white of it. And the intro song is a banger, and that animation, that thing's a banger. No wonder they had to use it for both. It's a banger. Absolute hit. Absolute fucking hit. Unlike most of these other ones we've been getting, is all I'll say. We're gonna be at 16 movies by the end of this episode, and the both versions of 14 have one of the best songs in just all of them. Black and White is really good. It's really, really good. It's a bop. It's a hit. I'd listen to it outside, let alone just like playing Pokemon. It's a fucking hit. The rest of the movie, though, the black and white shit is there's no like visual sense to try and translate that to you. There isn't really like any more like connecting that black and white to either like versions you're gonna watch. It's just to then the main plot that is baked into this movie, both versions, and about the antagonist, protagonist. I'm always just gonna forget these fuckers' names watching them all like this, especially because they're just so forgettable. But our antagonist and protagonist, they have like their own very much explained reasons for what they're doing. They have their own motivations that are like from very more real reasons. Like, I like heroes, but then it's also then just like so dumb. This movie is a lot like smarter, but it also then isn't doing much more with it other than trying to be like, oh, but we're a little bit smarter, and there's 2 of us, buy our games, there's 2 of us, watch the show, buy our games, there's 2 of us. And so I'm then going to be a bit nitpicky about how I feel the legendaries and these other characters and the Pokemon inside of it are done and characterized, because then it is a point where like I just don't, 14 films, I don't have that level of like being able to suck nostalgia dry through a straw compared to if I'm dealing with some of the first movies. It's just different, let alone like it is like a rose-tinted glasses, but I can just so much more easily forgive the budget and constraints and all that going into the older films, because even these films have their own like visual transition into using digital animation and CG, and 3D objects and stuff like that compared to like the original stuff, which was like hand drawn animation and stuff like that. And so like that budget, it does reflect, and you see it, you feel it. It's into every single thing. It's why like a Pokemon Ranger movie was just such a slog and bad to me. It's because it just okay Ranger stuff, and then it's just like the most basic James Bond ripoff bullshit that doesn't actually give any kind of personality. It's the Star Trek fucking section 30 fucking what? It's literally that of Pokemon, and it's dumb as shit. It's as bad as that. Section 31, I think. I don't know, whatever. It's as bad as that dog shit. I just recently rewatched DS9, and I still don't remember that shit. Because it's also, like, not that important. It's supposed to be this, like, fucking thing that isn't actually, like, that fucking integral until we're getting into, like, you know, major, like, whole fucking government action stuff. Like the trying to poison all of the fucking changelings, stuff like that. I'm not going to get into Star Trek any longer. That's going to be it for me talking about Pokemon White and Black. Really, just disappointing. 5 out of 10. Disappointment. Please give us some more character on these fucking tag-alongs that Ash has, because they're boring as shit. Alright, so now we actually hear their names in the movie in the next film that we're going to talk about, and that's going to be the Pokemon the movie, Kyurem and the Sword of Justice. I did not write a lot of notes for this. I didn't hate the movie. Let me keep that clear. If you're a major Pokemon fan and like this is like your favorite fucking movie for some odd reason, whatever, man, cool. I don't see it personally, but it isn't like I did not hate this film. I enjoyed some moments of it, surely, but it's for what was intriguing about it, there was also just a bunch of like not good to like weird and sussy, like just odd, just strange, just like oh my, what am I, 15 Pokemon movies and this is what the fuck I'm watching? Like, what do you mean? And that was just wearing me down to the point where I was just half watching at the end. And, yeah, I just did not enjoy much of it. Just too sussy for me. Not cool and intriguing enough. We have Kyurem in it, and, like, he is, like, sort of interesting, I guess. Like, I kind of like that we've kind of zoomed in again. Like, this is a Pokemon story where we're zooming in, like, Pokemon Forever, where it's just, like, a tiny story related to a grander, more legendary kind of Pokemon. And actually, okay. Another key thing about this is then all the Pokemon are just fucking talking, man. It's so fucking annoying. They all can fucking speak and talk. I don't understand this one. I just don't. I just don't fucking get it at all. Why we have this fucking sword shit character, like, especially too because I'd be fine if it was just them. Like, that's at least what some of the older fucking Pokemon movies would keep it with. It's just this Pokemon. This one's a little special. And we keep them special. No. Then we have, like, all the fucking... We have the Power Ranger Pokemon who, like, imbue justice into the fucker swordman Pokemon in the fucking woods or whatever. That's in this movie. I found that fucking unbearable. And with that is more fucking Pokemon that can talk. And I don't care. I just don't. The more they're talking, the more I want to fucking go to sleep. The more I want to turn the snooze on and take a big fat fucking nap because I'm bored. And I don't care. And that sucks because it's Pokemon. So I do care a little bit. I do. The kid in me is sort of caring. He's like, oh, Pokemon. Oh, get that sword. But no. Not cool enough. Too weird, too much talking, too much just bad. There is like a couple themes going on that, like, as the fucking sword fucking bitch guy gets his sword and like levels up and evolves and shit, and he has to finally duel Kairuan and that shit. Finally, there's some like themes to bite on from that, and by that point, I'm just fucking bored and don't care. Thankfully, like a trend that's been beginning, this movie is only 71 minutes. Barely fucking long. This is a we had to rush this ass shit out kind of movie. And it feels it. So it's thankfully only 71 minutes. And so for that, I at least gave it's a 4. It's like a 4 out of 10 for me. Thank you for being short. That we appreciate it. Thank you. So, on to something I actually feel a little bit more positive about, and I was actually feeling just much happier to have a conversation with and talk about. And it's Pokemon the movie Genesect and the Legend Awakened. I overall really dug this movie. It wasn't anything crazy too special. We're still in Pokemon being very cheap. The movie's only 72 fucking minutes. It's still, again, short. Like a lot of these other movies have been. They're getting shorter. They're getting incredibly more formulaic. And sticking to that formula. But at the end of the day, I actually did kind of really dig this. To me, it feels like it should be a big deal that Mewtwo's back. Hey, Mewtwo's back. Isn't that cool? Mewtwo's back. Hey, everybody. Hey, Mewtwo's back. Isn't that cool? Mewtwo's back. That's supposed to be a big deal. Mewtwo. Remember? From the first movie that everyone loves? Mewtwo. Mewtwo's back. And I actually really enjoyed Mewtwo's personification and character in this. The flashback stuff was, like, fine, not overdoing it too much, and some people, I guess, care that, like, Mewtwo's a woman now, and that is, like, the least relevant thing to me. It's a Pokemon. It's the least relevant thing to me of all time. In fact, I actually kind of like it more because it's a woman. Because really, I feel maybe it should be kind of genderless. That Mewtwo as an entity should be a little bit more genderless. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm fine with it. I don't think it's like... why bring it up? That's really it. I could bring it up within a valid kind of context and reasoning like I was discussing. But then why are you bringing it up? Were you just that bored that you just kept thinking about... Because some of these movies are that boring. But were you just that bored in this 72-minute film that the only thing you can think about is how now Mewtwo's a girl? Okay, bud. Keep writing your letterbox reviews, bud. So, okay. Also, Genesect. That's another big thing is we are making a further iteration from the the past of the Pokemon taking in some of the iconography of Jurassic Park, of it at a certain point almost being a contemporary to it, but then really took that in within how it dealt with kind of fossil Pokemon and kind of their spirits sort of at times. Not going too over the top with time travel, even though this kind of movie is where we're maybe getting more into that. We're taking it to the next step. We're trying to be these movies have been political and have been talking about inherently. Movies all over, inherently. They have things that they're about and are inherently then political. But this movie then I feel really does at least take another step. It is not cowarding and it's not taking any steps back. It's then saying, hey, let's take another step. And we're trying to say that Pokemon should represent a little bit of anti-war. And that's what peace is about. Peace is anti-war, war being over. That is it is a Japanese kind of context and phrasing, but that is what we're getting Pokemon through. It's through a filter. And that's how their culture and all that bakes into inherently what they are delivering to us. Their baked goods. It's going to have that. It's going to have them inside of it. I like what it's getting at. I like the Genesect for the most part. Again, we just have too much fucking shit that can talk. Too much bullshit that can talk. I don't think we should have had any of these Genesect talking, Because, like, what do you mean it understands English? What do you mean? It's from millions of years ago. What do you mean it understands English? I don't care that Mewtwo can do it. That's fine. I don't understand. Also, Mewtwo could fucking read telepathically anyway. But why the fuck is this Pokemon talking from millions of years ago? It's just unnecessary. I think you can make better storytelling with it changed, doing it differently. Yeah, I liked it though. I overall liked it. I liked the theme stuff also wasn't too overdoing it. That was a big thing with Black and White, is it's really like going so strong and heavy with its thematic stuff that it's trying to hit you with. We're like, well, no shit, you're gonna get like the black and white kind of ideas and interpretation when you're being like so heavy handed. This movie, it's a lot less heavy handed. I brought up the anti-war stuff, but like that again, that's you personally exploring your relationship and feelings on war through how it's been projected and placed onto Gensect as a Pokemon that we will never like understand and know its true origin, but and where it comes from. But it's had these weapons and armor and all this shit. It's had war placed onto it. And it's something that it just has to live. And that like you have to in some way let go of the past. You always come from somewhere, and like that is like kind of what it's about. And like we're transplanting things that were never supposed to be here, and you can have some quiet moments though, and you can enjoy like how some things never change. That's the other thing, is it then wraps it into something that is still related of like. Oh, but then still these lily fucking pads are from fucking millions of years ago, and they recognize them. And it's like, yeah, some things are everlasting and never change. Like fucking, they probably recognize the Sharpedo type shit. Like that's what I like. I think I think all that shit was done really well. I think Mewtwo as well. It's just characterized really well. Beyond like, oh my god, a girl. I really like their characterization. There's an animosity that they then explain and relate to within the Gensect. And how like that is still then can only be their interpretation. They can then never, no matter how close Mewtwo's relationship is to the Gensect and their origin, Mewtwo can still then never have understood them in the Gensect completely, because then Mewtwo in itself was never made as a weapon, like completely, as an experiment to like, for like Giovanni, and that's what Giovanni wanted. But, like, to the other guy, it was, like, for other fucking reasons. Like, the within humanity, as, like, ideas and all those transplants, it's, like, important. It is really important to, like, that, where, like, they are inherently made for war, and how that can be different and expanded upon, compared to Mewtwo, which was, yes, made by humans and for, to be taken control of, and to be used as a weapon, but it was also for other reasons, and that is like getting at it. It's because that's where humans come from, and they have their own motives, and that's all that. I just think that's so much more interesting. It's 16 films in, and we're finally doing some cool stuff that adds on to how we treated Mewtwo in the first film, that grows that character and maybe even Ash in the relationship. And not so much. They kind of really take a back seat, which sucks. I think Ash in this movie, I feel, really takes a backseat. And that then happens to all the jobbers that are his friends, but I don't care about them, so, like, whatever. And it really is, like, then... and that's just, like, a problem with the Pokemon talking, at the end of the day. Is then Gensect is just yapping and yapping and yapping sometimes, even though they're, like, a fucking prehistoric baby at other times. And they're also just prone to violence and firing off because they're an upset. They've been experimented on, blah, blah, blah. The red Gensect is really trying to take back and take control for them again, but like it's understanding and overcoming. And I think those are just some key things of Pokemon that are then really translated well. So I just found it really a lot better, just more entertaining to me, even though it's kind of shorter, and Also, it happens to have my favorite Pokemon in it, so that's always goated. Has my favorite Pokemon. Finally, 16th film is in. Has the GOAT. And, yeah, that's kind of like it. I think that's going to be most of what I have to say about the Gensect Legend Awakened Mewtwo film. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything really else to add. Otherwise, that I enjoyed it. So, to me, nothing too crazy special about it, though, either. Therefore, 6 out of 10 is what I'm giving it. 6 out of 10. Good kind of bounce back for what has been a bit of a lackluster 2 generations almost, but especially this black and white genre. I was never a huge black and white fan, but like, man, these movies. Man, thank God this one was in it, is all I gotta say. Thank God. Thank you, God. Alright. That's gonna be this episode of Manic Movie Mondays. And you will have another episode later this afternoon on something completely unrelated. Hopefully, none of you nitwits guess what the fuck I could actually be making an episode on. But it's surely gonna be a blast. It totally will be a blast and entertaining. Okay, bye.